God's Passover feast is a sacred assembly. Easter is a pagan practice. God says, do not worship me with pagan practices. God's sacred assemblies, the seventh-day Sabbath, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the first and the seventh days, the Day of Pentecost, the Day of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles on the first and the eighth day. God's command about worship. See how the nations worship their gods. You must not worship Jehovah your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods they do many detestable things Jehovah hates. Do everything I command you, and do not add to it or take away from it. Christ fulfilled the Passover when he was crucified on Wednesday in 32 AD. He was raised from the dead after 3 days and 3 nights at the end of the weekly Sabbath. There was never a Good Friday, nor an Easter Sunday. These are pagan practices inherited from the ancient Roman Church. God's people, the Church, must celebrate the feast of God, not pagan practices. Christ fulfilled the first 4 feasts at his first coming. He was the Passover lamb. He fulfilled the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. The first fruits was when he was resurrected, and Pentecost is when the Holy Spirit was given to the church. Christ will fulfill the last 3 feasts at his second coming. Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits was fulfilled by Yeshua at his first coming in 32 AD. Passover was on Wednesday, the 14th day of the month of Nisan. Then for 3 days, Christ was in the tomb. He rose on the end of the weekly Sabbath, and he was resurrected on the day of first fruits. Christians should understand that there was never a Palm Sunday, a Good Friday, or an Easter Sunday. Passover is the 14th day of Nisan, the first month of the biblical calendar. The Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on the 15th day. The first and the 7th days are annual Sabbaths. First fruits is the day after the weekly Sabbath and the day on which Christ was resurrected. The Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits was fulfilled by Yeshua at his first coming in 32 AD. God says each year, celebrate these festivals to me, the festival of unleavened bread, the festival of first fruits, and the festival of ingathering. You must not worship me the way Rome worshiped their sun god. I hate that, he says. Christians' ways are Sunday, Easter, Christmas. Jehovah's ways are the feasts of God. At his first coming, he fulfilled the first 4. At his second coming, the final 3. Love Jehovah and keep his requirements, decrees, laws, and commandments forever. I've set before you a blessing and a curse. The blessing is if you obey my commands, and the curse is if you disobey my commands. You must not worship Jehovah your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things that Jehovah hates. Do everything I command you.